Yeah, so we already did the blog on the path of least resistance. The path of most resistance somehow arrived into that discussion. So let's talk about the quote-unquote zombie apocalypse. People reintroduced this theory. What? In the last 10 years, it seemed to resurface. An old fucking concept seemed to resurface and was trending pretty big. I mean, you got people walking around with the shirts, got a lot of anti-zombie apocalypse, tactical military groups and organizations to like combat like that if it happened. And like, I'm gonna just say probably the majority of people, but like that's just some shit from the movies. Y'all fucking crazy. How y'all getting on that shit and those theories? Like, what the fuck, right? Like, just thinking of those people as like the idiots that take urban myth or something, Urban Dictionary, like all this urban myth shit that like is a concept, we understand what it is, but like it could never happen. And basically that was probably the response of most, right? When people talk about this shit. Let me tell you why it's not such a foreign concept. What you see in the movies is kind of a fabricated exaggeration, but yet also realistic too, of like what an end result can look like of in a zombie apocalypse. But let me just explain to you that have like tunnel vision. You want to know why they call it the zombie apocalypse? Because the chemical attacks, which maybe more of you subscribe to as feasible at this point. Y'all can subscribe to you hear about chemical attacks happening over in fucking Syria, for instance. I mean, it's genocide over there via, chemical attacks. So your fucking simple tunnel vision brains can subscribe to that. Probably more of you than those of you that subscribe to a zombie, quote-unquote zombie apocalypse, right? So let me just tell you, one of the symptoms or side effects or how a chemical attack manifests is it puts your fucking brain in like a zombie trance state, is a side effect of those fucking chemicals. So I just want to briefly tell you, just moments after doing my Path of Least Resistance blog, which I hope y'all pay attention to, for those of you that think it's such a foreign concept, the quote-unquote zombie apocalypse, one of the things that's really saying, okay, when we speak of zombies, is like a person that's like still fucking moving, but they're like disconnected, like a chicken with their head cut off, okay? Is the brain's not fucking hooked up right. It's been affected and has symptoms and side effects from a chemical. So those chemicals being used in chemical attacks that are already underway overseas, that these Z-TAC or zombie tactical groups warn you about, of like the zombie apocalypse. If you think it just looks like the movies with people with their flesh getting eaten up and there's still like The Walking Dead moving around, yeah, that could be the end result. But simply put, a zombie apocalypse is a chemical attack that puts the fucking human brain in like a zombie trance state. So you're still moving around, but you're like on major drugs, basically. You're not fucking hooked up right. You're not connected. You can't think. You can't focus. You're a zombie. You're just like sleepwalking. You're a dead man walking. So for all of you who's still taking the path of least resistance, and it's so foreign, a zombie apocalypse, just remember, a chemical attack is AKA or equal or equates to a zombie apocalypse, because side effects of these chemicals being used basically will make you a fucking zombie. That shit is real. You think the word zombie is just because of like these fucking 1980 horror movies? Really? No. A zombie is when your fucking brain's not functioning the way it's intended to be. And you're fucking moving like a chicken with its head cut off. You're still moving, but you're not fucking focused or thinking. You're in a trance. You're just a robot at that point. And probably worse, because at least robots are fucking, task-oriented. You're just fucking there. You're moving around, but you don't know what's going on. You're fucked up from a chemical. You're a zombie from the chemical attack. That's the zombie apocalypse. So anyway, just figured I'd throw this blog out there. So you have something in correlation, yet another thing for my Path of Least Resistance blog. I'm just saying, you do tank lip. I don't mean to be the Debbie Downer or Mr. Negative, but someone needs to give you a fucking reality check. The crazy man is a sane man living in a crazy world. So don't make the mistake of just, oh, Tank Lipp's crazy. No. I'm fucking smarter than you. You couldn't do this blog. Fucking idiot.